I run. And I come around the 2AC, and I see a little dinky engine, one of these little switch engines that was pushed, this was a constant sight in the mill. Always there was a little engine going, and he's switching and banging the cars back and forth. And I see a little dinky engine, and he's pushing a big iron flatbed freight car. This is a long freight car that's used to transport iron ingots. Very heavy, kind of a flatbed car. And it's got iron, like iron sides all around it. You've seen these cars that they put coal and everything in, but this one held steel, so it was pretty heavy, and it's all the way around it. And there's a guy standing in it, and he's the switchman. And the engineer is pushing this car. See, he pushes it, and then he unswitches from it. He goes, oh, he stops, and he backs up, and now all by itself, the car that he was pushing is gliding along at about 30 miles an hour. Just quietly, you know how they glide into the freight yard there. It's gliding along, and there's this man standing up in it. And he's got his hands on the wheel which operates the brakes on it. You've seen the big brake, the wheel sticking out. And I'm just going, and I'm running along with my mail, and the machines are banging on all sides of me, and it's raining a little bit. And I see that freight car. It's going, you know, making the sounds when it goes over the ties. It's moving along about 30 miles an hour, and he makes the big turn, and he's now heading directly for the warehouse. And he's obviously going to stop this thing. It's going, and the warehouse has an enormous steel door that must have been 25, 30, 40 feet high to allow big cranes to go into it. It's a big, heavy steel folding door that goes on up into the ceiling when they want things to come in. This gigantic steel door. Chase them out. Come on, out. I'm not kidding. So there's this gigantic steel door, and this thing is rolling right at it. And I'm watching this guy. And suddenly he is frantically waving. He is jumping up and down, and I see the freight car is not going to stop. It ain't going to stop. And he's wildly, he turns this wheel, and he runs to the back of it. You know, there's another wheel sticking out the back. They had wheels on both ends. He turns the wheel, and I see it's not going to stop. It's going right at the steel door that must have been 3 inches thick. It was 20 feet wide. It was 40 feet high. He is clipping along at 30 miles an hour. He is rolling faster and faster and faster and faster. Oh, wow. No, not blues for that. Nothing. It's rolling faster and faster and faster. I'm standing there watching. And sure enough, boom! He hit that door. He hit that door going, I'd say, a good 30 miles, maybe 25 to 35 miles an hour. I don't know how much this freight car weighed, probably 35 tons. And that guy, I saw at the last instant, he looked up, he dove down on the floor, and he disappeared under the railing of the car. And it seemed like for 10 minutes afterwards, I heard boom, boom, boom. Inside the building. You just heard these reverberating crashes, one after the other, crash, and then boom. There was a brief instant of silence, just hung like that. And then I heard shouts coming from inside the building. You hear these guys yelling and hollering, thousands of them. And then you hear the sound of sirens going, and I watched this whole scene. And I ran up to the building, and I could see just a little wisp of smoke and stuff coming out of it. I ran up to the building, and I could see where this great car had ran along the tracks of the shipping dock. It knocked over tractors. It knocked over piles of wooden stays. It knocked over salamanders. It knocked over control boards. And it had just made a great swath right into that building. And there wasn't a single person hurt. But they all stood around with that white look on their face. The cannon had gotten loose. The thing they were always afraid of. The piano had gotten loose. The thing they were always afraid of. That big bulldozer had gotten free, gotten loose on that street, and ran right over the Cadillac. that giant, inchoate monster of evil. Which reminds me, this is WOR, AM and FM, New Yorkie.
Miller High Life in pop and pour cans. Distinctive Miller High Life in pop and pour cans. Just pop and pour Miller High Life, the champagne of bottled beer. No opener needed. Enjoy the light, full-flavored goodness of Miller High Life, the premium beer millions more are asking for. Miller High Life always gives you that perfect taste in beer every time. Unequal, unquestioned, unchanging. Enjoy Miller High Life in our easier-to-open pop and pour cans. Just pop and pour Miller High Life. Always sparkling, flavorful, distinctive in pop and pour cans.
Oh, wow. What's all this about, this commercial here? What is it? Is it live? Oh, boy. When you see Viva la Mia, what is it, Viva Maria? The marvelous motion picture. Now, I'm quoting here, everybody. Don't come around and say Shepard said it was a marvelous picture. I'm reading the copy here. It says, when you see Viva Maria, quote, the marvelous motion picture from United Artists starring Brigitte Bardot and Jean Moreau, you'll be shouting all kinds of Viva, Viva. You'll shout Viva Fun and Viva Adventure, Viva La Sex. Because this is fun all the way, and adventure and whoopee all the way, and love. Well, there's Bardot and Moreau. Love cannot be far behind. You notice people constantly confuse sex with love? And you'll shout, Viva la Con-Con. That's the wild dance they do. And you'll shout, Viva Boom Boom. Because that's when they're not dancing, they're shooting cannons and leading armies and all other kinds of incredible activities for two French femme fatales. But that's what makes Viva Maria such a fabulous entertainment. You can't miss this one. See Brigitte Bardot in person Saturday night, 8 p.m. at the Astor. Regular performances start Sunday at Astor and Palazza Theatres. Viva la whoopee! Oh, wowie. No, I gave them their 60 seconds, didn't I? There? Okay, now, what else do we have? You got another whoopee in there? Hit it, Dad.
Turn me loose, I'll play boo. Let me laugh and make love.
I never can understand this spot.
Let me run through the world, flinging popcorn and pearls. I'll make spring out all.
The guy that led the band must have had a very good agent.
Hey, Ombre Boo is here. A new feeling, a new fragrance, a new perfume. By Cody.
We'll fling popcorn and pearls every day. We'll make spring an all-year thing.
Ombre Boo perfume. By Cody. Now spring is an all-year thing.
What does she say at the end? It goes. Gee whiz. Well, these cheesecloth microphones never work so good. Well, let's see. We have Rover with us. Oh, before we go into the Rover scene, Brack, Christmas night, now we have to make this announcement here to prevent confusion. Christmas night, I will be on the air. That will be December 25th. But there will not be a broadcast from the Limelight Christmas night. In other words, the last show before Christmas will be tomorrow night. And I intend doing a wild Christmas whoopee. Huh? What was all that? Tuesday? What? All right. But the last Christmas show before Christmas will be tomorrow night at the Limelight. And if you've been planning to come to the Limelight over Christmas, you better make it tomorrow night. And incidentally, I must remind you, a lot of people have written to me. I don't know why they do this, but they constantly write here and ask me if I'll get them reservations for the Limelight. I have nothing to do with that. I mean, I have enough trouble doing the show without selling the tickets and making the hamburgers and making the coleslaw. In fact, one night a guy came up and complained that there wasn't enough ketchup on the tables, and he was very mad. He wanted me to do something about it. However, if you'd like to come down and see the show, there's almost invariably, if you get down, there's 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe a dozen sometimes cancellations, and you can get in. And if you'd like to try for a reservation, sometimes people have already canceled. I don't know. It happens. You can give them a call at the Limelight. In fact, you can call them tonight. I don't know what their number is, but you can look it up. It's the Limelight. And I'm looking forward to this because I enjoy doing a Christmas show. I don't know why. It's just one of those things. I enjoy it very much, and we'll be at the Limelight beginning 10:30 to midnight on this coming Saturday, tomorrow. I guess it's tomorrow. This is Friday, right? Okay. All right. Now, we also have with us the Rover, great automobile, the Rover 2000. And there isn't much I can say about it, except that, it's a little embarrassing sometimes when you read actual quotes about the Rover 2000 out of various magazines that have brought articles about it out all over the world, because it always sounds more embarrassing than what a copywriter can write. For example, the phrase, is the world's best car a $4,000 car? In other words, is this a car that's as great as the Bentley and the Rolls-Royce? No copywriter would do this, but it was done by a big magazine recently. It's a great car. It's the Rover 2000, and it's designed for 1970 type travel. It's a fast Gran Turismo car for people who like good performance and who have learned what this means by driving good sports cars and who no longer want a pure sports machine. The Rover 2000. Now, we also have the electronic workshop with us, and I can only say that if you're planning to do anything in the way of electronics for this Christmas, I would suggest you consult with the electronic workshop, because not only will they match the prices that anybody has on all the great hi-fi equipment that's built around the world, they'll be there after Christmas. And furthermore, anybody who buys stuff from them will be treated not as a nameless, faceless customer, but as somebody who's bought a highly complex technical piece of gear that may need servicing, and it may need expert advice to use. This is the Electronic Workshop, 26 West A Street in the Village. They're open Saturday till 8, 9 o'clock. And if you're planning to send any hi-fi or a nice tuner or something to somebody for Christmas, especially take a look at their KLH stuff. Electronic Workshop. Okay, now let's get back to reality. As opposed to... Hey, here is one of the sneakiest Christmas poems that I know of. And since it's winter time, and it's all there, that excitement, there's a wild, peculiar kind of excitement. I don't know how it affects people who live in tropic areas. I spent one Christmas in a tropical situation. And Christmas in a tropical area is an extremely peculiar feeling. It really is, because somehow you associate Christmas, for some reason. Why? I don't know. I would like to know the origin of that. It'd be very interesting to know the origin of the association of winter, snow, ice, and so on with Christmas. You know that they even do this in tropical places? They'll have artificial snow. That I saw, one of the sad things I saw in a tropical area during Christmas was a guy who had decorated his house. And the way he decorated his house was by getting this polyethylene kind of snow, this fluffy polystyrene stuff, and it kind of comes in cans or something, and you can get it. It's like a big fluffy white cloud. And he had put this stuff on all the bushes in front of his house. And the bushes, of course, were things like mimosa. There were things like eucalyptus and stuff like tropical carnations, one thing and another. And he had put all over his little bushes, he had sprayed this white stuff so that it looked like it had snowed somehow in the middle of the Arctic. And he had a Santa Claus set up with a sled. And of course, old Santa was sitting in this Currier and Ives type sled, and he had these little reindeers stretched out in front of him. And Santa was sitting on a bed of plastic snow. And he had plastic icicles attached to the eaves of the house and all that. And I thought, well, that's a fascinating point, really. It was sad in one way, but funny in another. And I thought to myself, well, I wonder, at what point did the did the ice and snow and the